Hey guys, welcome to the YouTube video of today.
Go, Treant versus Treant on lane 1 and Drow. Okay, no, that Drow over there. Yeah. All right, Ogre Magi and Kana on the third lane. So Kana and Axe both, here's that you want in lane 1 are spawned in lane 3. Interesting board state here and interesting hands.
Yep. So we can see right off the bat, Lifecoach drawing a pretty top-heavy hands, time Primal Roar, with no Salamandre's favor in hand and no Stars Lion in deck.
We see only one available play for this turn, and that is the Unearthed Seekers, which is going to go down here for Lifecoach in lane 1. Because Kana is already deployed, this Unearthed Seekers is a very safe play. It's also the lane you're not likely to play Drow Ranger in, since you already have a green hero there. So that Unearthed Secrets is going to provide Lifecoach with good value, significant value throughout this match. And I gotta say, I love the one-off of Unearthed Secrets because it can be a very bad top deck.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's a card that has been kind of largely not overrated in this deck.
I think it's overrated.
Well, people looked at it at first and kind of declared it as 3 of auto include, and I think it falls short of that. Still a very competitive level card. So now LUMI is kind of forced to fight for the right lane. Dodges the Axe with the Drow, but really kind of a detriment for LUMI. His kind of starting off in the right lane. Normally you want to fight for as left of a lane as possible.
Yeah, double Mist of Avernus here for Lifecoach. Interesting draws, as this Mist of Avernus right here is very powerful.
Yep. So we're going to be misting up mid for Lifecoach. Lifecoach basically looking like he's electing to push mid and left. He's going to have to start developing value into the left lane. Probably Beastmaster there next turn. He could try to contest this lane.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. This red-green deck does have potential to be very aggressive early on, but it also relies on those draws. It has a very high curve, so you can draw your Spring the Traps, your Primal Roars, your Berserker's Call, and not really have optimal plays to go for, even though this is a pretty solid start for Lifecoach, but we have seen this before. Super JJ had a tremendous start with the turn 1 Mist of Avernus in the first game against Strifegro, and he still lost. So it's that key turn where they can ramp into Salamandre's, Incarnation of Salamandre's, and then Thunder God's Wrath and wipe your board down. So you also have to really be careful with allocating your health items properly.
Yeah, I will say, to LUMI's detriment, he has no blue heroes coming back in deployment. Blue heroes are squishy, so they die a lot, but this death, at the very least, gives them mobility, right? Without that mobility and without the ability to...
It's also very tempting to play that here to help contest the Kana lane as well. It's not an easy decision to make, but he opts to make the trade here.
Which lane matters? This looks like a terrible trade, but this is the lane that's going to matter.
Yes.
Lifecoach already has dominance mid, he's given up right, and this left lane is the most important lane to pressure for him. So even though it's a significantly worse trade, but he needs to do it.
Mist of Avernus available here alongside Smash their defenses as potential plays for Lifecoach on this second lane. Prey on the weak. I think, I like the Smash the defenses.
Very powerful Smash.
Yeah, it thins, it stops him from drawing.
When you zoom out, did you see that? The chain went like 3D. I've never seen that before. I'll show you. Dude, that's so... Okay. Threat, at the very least, it'll force LUMI to commit something.
I like it.
It'll force LUMI to commit something, basically, to prevent this from getting anciented.
I like that play. Annihilation is available next turn, but if Lifecoach does preserve initiative after this Ignite play, then he can potentially gust later down the line and stop that. But we do see Arcane Assault in LUMI's hand, which can say no to that. And there's the double Thunder God's Wrath. All he needs is ramp and Incarnation of Salamandre, and that could be a very nasty swing in LUMI's favor. We've seen that play, that set of play, with Incarnation of Salamandre into double Thunder God's Wrath, just do a complete 180 on the match and change things. So he has to watch out for that. And you were saying that earlier that...
Which would be pretty huge. It forces Lifecoach to commit extra tools. Now, LUMI might choose not to do this if he really doesn't want the option for something like a Time of Triumph to just kill this over the top. If you commit to defending a tower, it needs to stay alive, or at least force a ton of resources out of the opponent to take it.
Also follow that up with a Call of the Wild to push some heavy damage here.
Yeah, absolutely. You're just developing your units on this board. Maybe LUMI is able to defend mid, but at the very least, you're pressuring left. And again, I mean, this is a hard choice if you're LUMI. This could possibly end up being better for Lifecoach, because this mid tower, while LUMI had the defense on it, here's the Annihilation here off of initiative. Huge Annihilation, but LUMI's defending the tower that's at lower health. Against something like a Time of Triumph 2 turns from now, there is a risk to this. Giving up the tower that is maybe more defensible is often what you want to do.
But preserving the Berserker's Call for this lane right here, wiping out Kana and slowing down this lane significantly. This is big, out the window, but the takedown on lane 1 is definitely possible. And I think that's strategy now. He does have initiative in this lane and a green hero incoming as well. So I think Treant should go in lane 1 here potentially.
Which tool you want to be able to preserve from hand.
There
There's
it
the duel
is.
coming out now. And I think you're right. He'll follow it up with Rose Leaf or potentially something like a Mist of Avernus. But if you're life coach, you just want to put as much. And LUMI is on 8 mana on the right lane. So if LUMI wants to play for initiative left, he has to decline the Emissary of the Quorum on the right lane.
Down goes the Rose Leaf Druid on the right. Blink Dagger onto the LUMI. What you could just block one of those with a Rose Leaf Druid. That's pretty much all you can do. I mean, he may just gust here, but this straight still happens. And this double Mist of Avernus is very strong, but he drops the Rose Leaf Druid here. I really like Spring the Trap, honestly.
Yeah, this position Life Coach is in is looking amazing. Spring the Trap in place, as you mentioned.
And now LUMI has 2 lanes he wants to annihilate, and only one of them can happen. But down goes Chainmail.
Play over here with your axe, unless you really want to try to stall it out with the mercenaries. But he's deciding he wants to keep his Beastmaster out of the range of a Thunder God's Wrath, which is always an important thing to do when playing around Zeus. There's the Emissary, and now you've got the initiative on Life Coach's end, unless he wants to stun it with Roar.
Are looking to be very threatened. Primal Roar is a very powerful play. Potentially, he goes for the Primal Roar now, though. He does stun here. Okay, I guess slowing down death. Because the thing is, when you're playing blue-green, they can one-shot your tower. So
The Time of Triumph will make it harder for him to be kind of effectively lethal to the Wrath. There's the Annihilation.
there's the Boom Boom, which opens up this lane for Zeus to just go kind of crazy on it. But he doesn't. He does lack the green presence right there, and no Blink Dagger as of now.
But at this stage of the game, you don't need the green. I mean, third Annihilation, which you know isn't really a copy in his deck, takes the duel on the blue, not afraid of green. Emissary does have the option of coming down.
Interesting line of play here, going for the duel instead of for the gust. Because this enables this for sure, and that's rough. I'm not sure I like that play, honestly.
Yeah, and you know Emissary is a 3 of as well in
Exactly.
Lumi's deck. So we have Life Coach having the opportunity to pump his Exiles here. It's 15 gold for +7/+7, which is pretty good, but very vulnerable to something like an Annihilation. At the same time, at this point in the game, you don't really have anything better to spend your gold on.
Exactly. That's why I really like Mercenary Exiles in this list, considering the item package that he's running. We were talking about that earlier, but I would have liked to see this trade with the Ogre Magi after a gust.
So Treant Protector goes down, and now Zeus needs to find a lane to go into. Presumably, it'll be the left lane. Emissary taps here. Now, Life Coach has the opportunity to take something like a time. There it is, solo time. When you get 2 times in hand, using it on a single hero doesn't feel too bad.
Miss out on 1. Oh, ho, ho.
Second Emissary. If it comes down and starts to try to combo, right, you have some reactivity there. There's the TP scroll that you're forced to do, but you don't feel very good doing this because the Emissaries are dropped anyway. So
LUMI gives up. Oh, he's only running 2?
yeah. So there's
okay.
nothing you can really do with initiative.
Okay.
It allows you to play a card, but then the Axe is just going to use maybe Roar on you anyway. And you're technically saving the Zeus by pulling him out of this lane.
He does go for it. No shenanigans allowed, but it does spawn.
Zeus goes mid, which is really, really good for
Yeah.
LUMI.
Well, it's not that bad for Life Coach, though, because if Zeus does opt to go for the Incarnation of Eliminating, Gust can just deny that, right? For at least for a turn here.
It's true as well. But at the same time, I mean, Life Coach still not having taken a single tower at this point is really awkward.
Yeah, it's not good. Oh, okay. Interesting.
We're just going to blink around everywhere. So now LUMI has the blue on this lane. Again, no Annihilation, and Life Coach knows this. So we can see a Wrath come down. Drought dies, not able to be picked up by the Time of Triumph. We could see Life Coach use the second Time of Triumph again on the Sax. Might be more important.
Yeah.
You've got to save for the Gust next turn.
Oh, man, this is dangerous, though. This is dangerous because this deck doesn't always have to take down the Ancient. This deck can just kill you on 2 lanes, right? And the 3rd lane is already completely lost, so Life Coach has to be very careful here. No Arcane Assault, though, for LUMI, which he would not have been able to play anyways, but...
So here's that chip damage coming in here. You could see a Diabolic Revelation on the side of LUMI. I mean, there's not really anything you want to draw into at this point, but this is a turn where it doesn't really cost you very much to use either. You probably want to tap the Emissary first so you don't lose the 7/2 creep. And this right lane looks really scary for Life Coach. I mean, his tower is dying on 9, but he has to be scared about losing his Ancient next turn here.
Yeah, exactly. Like 41 damage already, 2 more procs.
A single blue hero, a single Prey on the Weak into double Emissary tap is great. I love this Blink Dagger on the side of LUMI, because even when you leave this drow, even when you leave the lane, a single blue hero plus Prey double Quorum is still always going to be enough to take.
Yeah, this is powerful plays here by LUMI.
And if you're life coach, you know what this means. You have initiative, you need to take 2 lanes in 1, right? Taking this tower this turn right now is impossible, which means your only strategy is trying to defend right. So now that he's Time of Triumph, he has to blink the Beastmaster right and try to defend it with the Call of the Wild as well. There's the Gust, and that's it. There's no blink on the Beastmaster. Life Coach does still have the blink on the Axe right now, but it's on cooldown.
It's on cooldown. That's it. Denied. I mean, he can try to spring the trap to try to defend.
That's his only chance. He has to hope that Spring the Trap will give him enough way to. Yep. You could also, yeah. So we see LUMI's gonna expend a Prey on the weak here. Is he? Does he have enough to be able to take this? He's gonna double stars into Sanctum and just win this lane.
Oh!
Because you don't even need to do anything on the right side.
I forgot about the Sanctum.
You have the ability to just take anything here. They're very interesting. So we see LUMI commit the Prey on the weak. It looks like after that, though, he is going to go for the right lane. But the spring the Trap is an option. Didn't LUMI have the option?
I do not understand why he did not go for Stars Align into double Unearned Secrets here to get 2 more card draws. I don't get that. That's actually very confusing to me. Like he doesn't need Stars Align on the 3rd lane anymore. Like why did he pass there? He also does not.
And the 2 Spring the Trap Centaurs here. I mean, the difference of being able to take left versus right is huge. LUMI has the double Quorum, which is great, but you have to fight against 2 Centaurs. Plus, you need to be fighting against a much higher health tower. It's going to be 80 instead of like 27.
I am so confused by him not going for this. I can't think of the reason as to why, but down goes Incarnations. So the main is going to curve into the Melee Creep right here, and
these Preys are looking pretty weak.
Yeah, there's no way he can take this down.
Yep.
If he had more cards, like secrets for cycle. There's so many more options you can do here if you're going for. This is a lot of power though. Yeah. He just needed like, I don't know, like 1 more component, and he would have been able to take this, I think. But not placing the Unearned Secrets on this lane prevented him from drawing an extra card.
Yeah, I mean, you draw something like a Foresight, draws you into more cards. I feel like you can definitely open up your options a little more there if you're LUMI.
Oh wow. And I mean, this is relevant.
And there's nothing LUMI can do at this point. He has expended both of his Annihilations. He has no other way of being able to stop the siege damage on the left side. LUMI playing for Blink Daggers at this point. Playing for Unearned Secrets won't make a difference. This is a nice little gimmick you can do. You can use Unearned Secrets in tandem with Blink Dagger. Check this out. The Centaur will deal damage now, and you get 2 free card draws, but it's not what you need right now.
It's you need that 3rd Annihilation, which just does not exist. And it's just going to be a wrap. You don't have initiative. Lifecoach will drop the Gust, and that will be a clear victory on that 1st lane. Lifecoach going to take this 1st game, and I really think LUMI kind of made some heavy misplays there.
Yeah, it's possible he needed to be a little bit more flexible in his approach. One of the things about Artifact that looks maybe easier than it actually ends up being is the idea of kind of agility. You need to switch up your game plan constantly.
Yeah.
A lot of new players can get trapped in the idea of, okay, this is my game plan, and there will be an opening, usually on deployment, where you can change that rapidly and maybe go for a better plan every turn. And it looks like LUMI might have needed to be a bit more flexible there. That being said, very close game.
I like that, but I definitely do miss that 3rd Annihilation personally. And here we go.
Double dual Bronze Legionnaire, the perfect hand for Lifecoach.
It's an honor.
And Bronze Legionnaire onto Kana. Going to take no damage from Kana because Kana is weak AF as he has 2 armor onto that Bronze Legionnaire, and that's a strong opening here for Lifecoach. Treant versus Treant again, and Axe in the 3rd lane here.
And Lifecoach holding onto this duel. He's got the 2 in hand, opportunity to use it. I love this Restraint Mogwai. We keep talking. One of the themes in this tournament is, the turn 1 duel. We mentioned it a few times, and I love to see major restraint being shown on this. Very powerful tool. You gotta save it for later.
I agree. It's so key later down the line. On turn 2, I like it a lot.
Even turn 2 is fine because you're blocking out these 4 mana options.
Exactly.
Which, 2 and 3 mana options, much less important to block out.
Especially against this deck. Like this, I enjoy his sound effects.
Yeah, didn't we do that once at his place?
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't get invited back.
Well, to be fair, I didn't either.
So the Rose Leaf Druid comes down, finds the curve into the Bronze Legionnaire, which is absolutely what LUMI wanted here. Now, Lifecoach has a duel opportunity,
Yeah.
and I gotta say, I really love this duel.
I like it
Keeps
too.
the Bronze Legionnaire alive, kills the Rose Leaf Druid. I think that people, you know, as they first start learning artifacts, they might overemphasize heroes. Being able to kill these high-power creeps that stay dead is really important.
And Rose Leaf Druid is extremely threatening in this deck. All you need is a Stars Align, and you can curve out into an emissary of the turn, the Quorum. So getting rid of Rose Leaf Druid, it's a very viable dual target for sure.
Yep. So now we see initiative on the side of LUMI. He has the option to just like Foresight here, or you could develop a Prey on the Weak for 4 dogs. Pretty good play. Goes for the Foresight. He just wants to play very passively here.
It is a combo
Not really
deck.
worried about this lane.
Yeah, it is a combo deck. You need to draw your combo pieces. I like him being patient here. He has not taken any damage yet in lane 1. Kana is going to have a couple of melee creeps here to slow him down again. Swarm capability. And you have to be very, very conservative with your Prey on the Weaks because they are part of your win condition.
Yeah, and we see Kana just getting...
Conservative with his Gust, right? But he's going to opt to go for the Celemated Favor instead. So not really denying what could be a very powerful Prey on the Weak here.
Yep.
And instead setting up some ramp. Interesting.
Prey is an option. Lifecoach can't always respond with something like Mercenary Exiles. LUMI's just going to keep punish her. You can turn this ability of hers into a downside by really targeting this lane, putting the Bronze Legionnaire right in front of her. I mean, that just trades so well over 3 turns.
That's a statement that confuses a lot of, especially newer players. Because you look at Kana's abilities, like, well, you can control the melee creature coming into your lane. That's really good. And a lot of times, especially in Constructed, that can be as much of as it is a good thing. It can be a liability as well if your opponent can capitalize on that. And that's a good example of that. Like when you are able to defeat Kana's lane and you overtake it, then the other 2 lanes are wide open.
So I gotta say, this game looks really in the favor of Lifecoach here. You don't need to use the duel here because your opponent already passed, so you know there's nothing gonna be played on their part.
Killing Blue Heroes turn 3 denies them coming in for an Annihilation, and we see a desperate Gust here from LUMI to slow Lifecoach down. That Ignite, though, okay, there's no initiative there, so now you just gotta blink. But
You had guaranteed lethal from his perspective without using any items on the left side. It's in response to the Gust, you pass across, you kill this tower, you have the Berserker's Call onto the Axe, freeing up enough damage to take this tower with Blink Dagger already. It doesn't end up mattering, of course, because with Lifecoach, even though you are giving up the potential to kill the right lane this turn, it still will fall invariably. I don't know if LUMI can find a way back from this position. Remember you were talking about salves.
I think he may have missed lethal there then.
Yeah, he did.
Wait, it's over. It's over.
It was a miss on lethal, but it doesn't end up mattering.
Wow. No Annihilation Flare for LUMI, and that's it. That was quick.
I think LUMI just kind of giving up the goat at that point.
If you want, you can hit the subscribe button below. Yeah. If you want to have more of that amazing action, let's stay tuned for the drafts to come.